Another terrorist attack now in Brussels. At least 31 people died and many more injured. We have the story today.
Thousands of people attended Senator Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign rally in San Diego. All the details here.
In sports, a former Rookie of the Year has found a new home. Find out who.
Spring break is here, guys. Find out what the weather has in store for this weekend. This and more today in Newscene.
Hello and welcome to Newscene. I'm Marish Marabe.
And I'm Vince Vangela. Thank you for joining us.
In breaking news today, a suicide bomber blew themselves up in Iraq at a soccer stadium. The bombing occurred during a match that has 29 people dead and 60 people injured. The stadium is located at 30 miles away from the capital, Baghdad. ISIS is claiming responsibility for the attack. 31 people are confirmed dead and hundreds injured in Brussels. As police continued their investigations, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry says 2 Americans have died. Sandra Juarez is here with the latest. Sandra?
There are many questions about if the latest attack in Brussels was a retaliation for the arrest of the lead suspect in the Paris attacks. A suspect was arrested just days before these blasts. While the investigation is ongoing, information about the dead, missing, and injured is surfacing, some of them Americans. Two explosions caused chaos and grief. Explosions at Zaventem Airport and Malabek Metro Station resulted in over 30 deaths and over 100 injured. With the confusion of the attack, many are wondering if their loved ones are all right.
These last 2 days have been something I never thought I would feel. It's been the worst days of my life. I guess I didn't know how much one person can love another.
ISIS is claiming responsibility. Najim Lashawi, an ISIS bomb maker, is still on the loose according to a Belgian counterterrorism official.
I'm actually still not fully aware yet of what happened. It feels pretty unreal when I see the footage on TV yet. But I don't want to let this take me down, and I want to stay positive and not start to live in fear.
A bomb that he left at the airport didn't go off and was safely detonated in a controlled explosion. As the country tries to deal with its grief, other countries around the world are pledging their support. 2 American victims were siblings Alexander and Sasha Pinowitsky. Meanwhile, the search continues in Brussels today for the mastermind connected to the terrorist bombings. Back to you guys.
President Obama announced his administration is doing all it can to defeat ISIS and to prevent attacks in the United States. Obama told reporters there is nothing more important on his agenda than going after and defeating ISIS. The commander-in-chief stated concern about the treatment of Muslim Americans, going on to say that most are successful and patriotic. Obama rejected policies that may discriminate against Muslims as un-American, and candidate Ted Cruz suggested law enforcement step up their efforts to, quote, patrol and secure Muslim neighborhoods, unquote. Obama dismissed Cruz's suggestion as contrary to American values.
This week has been a very important week in politics, especially here in San Diego, where Bernie Sanders held his first local rally. Here is your political update. Western Tuesday played a huge role for presidential frontrunner Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Clinton takes the win in delegate-rich Arizona and thanks everyone for their support.
I'm also very grateful to all of our volunteers who are working so hard in this campaign across this great state.
Trump tweets his thanks to Arizona supporters, where his debate on deporting undocumented immigrants is a hot topic that might be in his favor. Runner-up, Ted Cruz falling behind, with John Kasich third, far behind. Bernie Sanders took Arizona as a loss, but turned it into a positive outlook.
That I saw, we are 5 points behind, and we're gaining.
Sanders wins Utah and Idaho not long after.
in Utah, tonight in Idaho, and tonight in Arizona, there are record-breaking turnouts in terms of voting.
Ted Cruz taking the voters to a win in the heavily Mormon state of Utah. Ballot shortages were reported in some locations due to the increased amount of voters, which was predicted to be because of the Mitt Romney claim to vote for Cruz. Lots of exciting developments in politics this week. Democratic presidential candidate Senator Bernie Sanders' first appearance in San Diego attracted thousands of people. Gabby Fernandez has the story.
Senator Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign rally was held at the San Diego Convention Center. He spoke about immigration, minimum wage, Social Security, and promised to fight ISIS. Thousands of supporters attended the rally last Tuesday for an hour-long speech. Sanders took a stage a little after 8:30 p.m. after he was introduced by actress Rosario Dawson. The candidate received a big ovation when he spoke about immigration and finding a path to citizenship for the undocumented immigrants living in the U.S.
11 million undocumented people in this country, and many of them are living in the shadows, living in fear, and they are being exploited every day because they have no legal rights.
Sanders also spoke about the recent terrorist attack in Brussels, for which ISIS claimed responsibility.
I think I speak for everyone in expressing our condolences to the people of Brussels. And we will together crush and destroy ISIS.
Followers expressed their admiration and hope for Sanders to become president.
I feel great about who's going to run our country this next term.
He has lived his life consistently and not switched with which way he thought the political winds were going. I think he's a strong leader. I think he's the man we need.
According to convention center officials, the Democrat candidate spoke to over 12,000 people who attended to his campaign bill as a future to believe in rally. This is Gabriela Fernandez, Newscene.
Thank you, Gabby. Senator Sanders also pledges to restart peace talks in the Middle East, a process he said would require hard but just decisions to put Israel and the Palestinians on the path towards peace.
A local activist and community organizer is pushing to make changes in family law before President Obama leaves office. As Maria Fani tells us, he brought his message to City College this week.
This is Armando Tejas at the Bernie Sanders rally in San Diego, trying to gain support for his cause, a concerned father who wants reform of family rights laws for parental equality in the courtroom and justice system.
I've begun this effort as a single dad, experiencing firsthand the broken system that we have in family law courts that are very biased and prejudiced to the men who are seeking to uphold and exercise their parental responsibility of raising and caring for their children.
Fathers are facing challenges often in family courts.
I have two clients who have gone through incredible injustice in their own divorce matters. One of them is a Palestinian man who, because he didn't have the money in order to fight his ex-wife's significant other, he just couldn't take it in court anymore. He lost custody of his children.
Proposed amendments include mandatory DNA testing to establish paternity at birth, father's last name added to the birth certificate as a child is born to access medical history and identity, and to prevent the suspension of licenses to avoid further financial burden on families. Tejas believes the reform will not change mothers' rights, but it reduces the prejudice, scrutiny, and bias fathers often face in family courts. His birthday wish is to call on President Obama and enjoy his family. Maria Fani, Newscene.
Tejas, along with the Fathers' Rights Movement, continues their fight.
There are two historic visits in Cuba this week. The first is President Obama's arrival in Havana to meet Raul Castro. The two leaders met and talked about the future of the U.S. and Cuban relations. One thing they could agree upon was regarding the decades-old U.S. embargo of Cuba. President Obama went to say that, quote, the embargo is going to end, end quote. Though he couldn't say when, also the first time ever since the Castro regime began, rock and roll is being brought to the islands. The Rolling Stones are playing at an open-air concert in Havana tonight.
Wednesday morning, ex-Mayor Bob Filner testified in court regarding his sexual harassment charges. During the trial, Filner repeatedly testified that he did not sexually harass anyone during his career as mayor, and that he does not recall any of the incidents that he is being accused of. However, he did acknowledge that some of the behavior described by the lawyer would violate the city's sexual harassment policies.
Well, in other news, San Diego City District's president received an award. The whole story when we come back.
And did the Clippers beat the Warriors for the first time this season? Game highlights in the sports coming up.
Yeah. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
San Diego College has held the second annual Social Justice and Education Conference. The 2-day-long conference offered over 24 sessions covering various topics. Organizers hope to gather students, organizations, faculty members, nonprofit organizations, and policymakers to share experiences, provide resources, and raise awareness about challenges we face as a society, and to develop collaboration for healthy social transformation. Many attended the 2-day-long conference, which began March 23rd and ended March 24th.
San Diego City College's own Anthony Beebe was recently recognized by a leading Barrio Logan community group. Former president of the San Diego Community College District received the Lifetime Achievement Award together with Board of Trustees President Maria Nieto. They were recognized for their contributions in expanding educational opportunities in underserved communities.
This week, San Diego College students teamed up with the college's food pantry to offer hungry students. It kicked off Tuesday afternoon, and participants enjoyed food vendors, music, and yes, the satisfaction of feeding someone in need. If you missed out this week, the event goes on. The food pantry is always accepting donations. For more information or to find out more information, you can visit the San Diego City College website.
A warning tonight to anyone who attends a local college or university. Yesterday, an email was sent out warning students about an outbreak of mumps in the area. The infection started out at the University of San Diego and has spread to other colleges and universities. Before going on spring break, make sure you have your vaccinations and wash your hands often.
San Diego's ice plants are in danger of becoming extinct. A deadly fungus has appeared and is killing the red apple plants. It is the first noticed in Poway last June. This may be because of a bacteria from South Africa or New Zealand called Agriphos could help clean up the contamination, and it is advised to buy an erosion net and avoid buying red apples.
Police officers in Pasadena, California attended a training program to learn basic techniques to treat injured canines. Police canines are usually the first ones to run into dangerous situations. This makes them just as vulnerable to injuries such as gunshots or stab wounds. These specially trained dogs are seen as fellow partners within the task force. The training program took police officers from 8 different agencies to teach them the proper ways to tend to the injuries of these dogs. They also learned how to pull them out of dangerous situations. Now, with this training, police canines will be able to receive immediate and proper first aid. There are tons of things going on in the world of sports right now, and Brian Jeffers here to tell you all about it. Brian, tell us what you have.
Thanks a lot, Vince. As the bracket busting continues, half the pack has been streamlined, and several championship hopefuls have punched their ticket to the Elite Eight as of yesterday. The Jayhawks are one of those teams. They ousted my Maryland Terps yesterday. It hurts. But the Terps played tough and kept it close for the majority of the game. But in the end, Kansas was just too much, specifically fueled by their locker room hopeful leader, Perry Ellis. Ellis had a game-high 28 points, as you see him with the hoop and the harm here, which was a big motivation for the rest of the game for momentum. Kansas will now go to their third Elite Eight in the last 4 years. Great job, Kansas. Villanova beat Miami. Oregon beat Duke. I know my Tar Heel fans like that. And the All-American guard, Buddy Hield, is still going strong. The OK Sooners finished off the Aggies. This time, instead of Hield, it was junior guard Jordan Woodard, who was just too much for Texas A&M. Woodard averaged 13 points in the season, but it's March Madness, baby, so anything can happen. He filled it up and dropped 22 points and 5 assists. You see him here with the leaner. He was making everything last night. More Sweet 16 matchups are taking place later today. Make sure you keep it locked here for all your sports updates. So, from the All-American hopefuls to the guys that actually get paid for this, let's talk about the Golden State Warriors. The babyface assassin, reigning MVP Stephen Curry, along with his teammates, have set the league on fire. Stephen Curry has over 100 more threes than his teammate Klay Thompson, who has made 30 more threes than the next guy. Truly amazing stuff. Watch as Steph and Klay don't change course at all and continue to scorch the earth. This time, the Clippers were their victims, who, despite being playoff bound, haven't beat the Warriors all season. As the season starts to come to a close and the Warriors close in on actually winning 73 games, it puts into perspective how magical a season it's been. But it could be all for naught if they don't cap it with a championship. I'm sure the likes of LeBron James and Kevin Durant will have something to say about that. I can't wait to see how it all shakes out. And that's about all the time I have for sports. Thanks for tuning in. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Brian. I'm still looking for football season to come intact. But in other news, Batman vs. Superman is getting a bad reviews. Find out from who next.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft. To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60. Now I get it.
A big improvement is coming for people who take the trolley for public transportation. A $1.7 billion project called the Mid-Coast Corridor Transit Project has been approved. The Blue Line will run from the Tijuana border through downtown to University City. Sandag has agreed to pay for half the project. The FTA may pay for the rest. Construction is scheduled to begin this year. It is estimated that the La Jolla trolley service will begin running by 2022. The light rail will run along Interstate 5 and, despite controversy, has settled disputes and the project is underway.
The Liberty Public Market opened this week. In Liberty Station, the 7-day-a-week market and event venue will feature local sourced food, produce, meat, and seafood. It will also feature crafts, prepared foods, and some new restaurants. The new market will be a great place for tourists and locals alike.
San Diego City College hosts its annual Vamp Showcase at the Seville Theater. The event was a highly produced multimedia show produced by City College students. Students submitted their stories online and told their inspirational experiences and lessons they learned. If they were chosen, they told their stories in front of a live audience. This event was free and open to the public.
Next time you're out planning for a night out, you may want to explore more of your options. Maria Fani has it for us.
San Diego's night scene is expanding. Many says North Park is becoming the new downtown. With a variety of music and plenty to do, North Park is getting a lot of attention. Some people, they just like the vibe of this neighborhood.
I feel like it's way more relaxed here. There's less pressure to feel the need to go find a place or be with the crowd. You can kind of choose your own path and what you want to do around here. So.
Locals have their own favorite spots to hang out for coffee, cocktails, or something to eat. Overall, people enjoy the layout.
And we like the idea that there's a lot of businesses in a row, so we can do anything from eat to get dessert to be able to grab a drink somewhere.
Yeah, there's a million places around here to go out and eat, go out and get something to drink, go out and just hang out and meet cool people. There's a million different people to meet in North Park. It's a really cool area.
All over North Park, drinks are being made and IDs are being checked. You cannot miss the great sounds coming out of the bars. But I still had one question. Is North Park a good date night?
Is North Park a good date? Of course it is. It's so laid back. We got so many selections to go from U31, which is over there. You got True North. You got Coin Up. If you want to play some arcade games, you could be fun. Or just has so many activities to do out here.
As you could see, North Park has it all. Fun, food, and plenty of friendly people. For Newscene, I'm Maria Fani.
Thanks, Maria. There's definitely a lot of options when it means to going out to North Park, from art scenes and coffee shops that are mostly open 24 hours.
All right, we've got celebrity news. We've got movie news. Stephanie Alvarez is here with that entertainment news.
Thanks, Vince. Hulk Hogan was awarded $140 million in the Garner trial. Hogan sued Garner Inc. for posting a sex tape back in 2012 of his. Hogan stated in court, the posting of the video was an invasion of his privacy, violated his publicity right, and influenced great emotional distress on him and his family. The huge amount awarded should send a message to Garner and the similar publications about how to handle serious stuff. Third time's a charm for Mariah Carey. She is planning a lavishing wedding to billionaire James Parker. They are set to tie the knot in June on the exclusive islands of Barbados in the Caribbean. Sources say they are only inviting 50 of their closest family and friends. The wedding is sure to be the event of the summer because reports claim they are spending a whopping $100 million on the wedding. Batman vs. Superman has been ripped apart by the critics. The most anticipated movie of 2016 has been a letdown for all the movie critics. Rotten Tomatoes has given the movie 31% out of 100 and a 6.4 out of 10 from IMG.com. Even with the low reviews, the movie has already made $44 million in theaters. And that's all I have for entertainment. Now back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Steph. I have yet to see that movie, so I'll let you know what I think of it. In other words, spring break is here, and we'll have all the latest details on weather.
Stay tuned, guys.
Today, 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic. That means many of the future doctors who will care for us, the engineers who will build our cities, the scientists and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone. And every day more people support you to make it happen. Many support you. And the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. HSF.net.
Hey everybody! Heart disease affects 1 in every 3 women in America, but you can fight back. There's no time to lose. Mothers, sisters, daughters, families, and friends, it's time to shout louder, stand stronger, and demand change. Let's go!
To the Batmobile. Dang it.
To the invisible jet! Dang it. Together, we can put an end to heart disease. It's time to go red for women. I could use your help. Yeah! Learn more from the American Heart Association at www.goredforwomen.org.
Customers at an LA sushi restaurant came for raw fish, but instead encountered a live snake. Police said Hiroshi Motohashi paid his $200 bill, then started showing other customers a small snake. The manager of the restaurant asked him to leave, but a few minutes later he returned with a 13-foot-long python. According to police, he dropped the snake in the middle of the restaurant and walked out.
Him like 3 or 4 times. He said no, like he was like starting a fight with the customers, so we have to have called the police and fire department.
Now, they cut this last time after the SOT. Yeah.
All right, well, I don't know about you, but I don't know if I'd want to be there for a restaurant with a snake in it.
Yeah, well, animal control officers took the snakes away, and Motohashi was arrested on suspicion of making criminal threats.
Which apparently he's actually a San Diego native and used to own a pet store here in San Diego. In other words, with spring break now in full swing, everyone's mind is on the weather. Currently in San Diego, it's 72 degrees and sunny. Perfect weather for Easter Bunny to hide those colorful eggs.
And for all those students planning on going to the beach this weekend, the water temperature at La Jolla Shores is currently 63 degrees. Light winds are causing waves to average between 2 and 3 feet. High temperatures along the coast are expected to stay in the upper 60s to low 70s throughout the Easter weekend, with lows only dropping to the mid-50s.
Nationally, Mother Nature has not been so kind. Earlier on this week, a powerful storm left 3 dead in Wisconsin and hundreds of homes and businesses without power. Wisconsin's Governor Scott Walker has issued a state of emergency seeking help from the rest of the nation. Yet the wet weather is not limiting itself to the Midwest.
In Colorado, storms left hundreds stranded on the interstate. Hail has been scattered across Texas, and thunderstorm and tornado warnings are being issued along many southern states. Back home in San Diego, temperatures for the next week are expected to drop to the low 60s. Cloudy skies bring a chance of showers to Southern California as early as Wednesday. Yet if all goes according to plan here at home, locals and tourists will still get enough sunshine at the end of the week to have an enjoyable spring break. All in all, remember to be safe, wear plenty of sunscreen, and drink lots of water. And be sure to carry that umbrella handy.
Then again, if being outdoors is not on your schedule, there are still plenty of activities to do around town. Roller and ice skating rinks can be found in Linda Vista and in La Jolla, and are great ways of staying active with your whole family or just your significant other. Thank you for tuning in on Newscene. I'm Marie Marabe.
And I'm Vince Fangella. Have a great spring break.